Hello everyone, up FFD, welcome to a new episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. Last time we finished everything that there was to see in the school mode. Today we're coming to the extras, and the event and the movie galleries would be very redundant. The sound gallery, you've been listening to the music all along throughout the game, throughout the playthrough, and we already got everything from the school store, but I wanted to bring special attention to the artwork gallery, because this is all concept art. And art for promotional stuff that we never get to see in the game, mostly. Let's start with Makoto's character art. I'm going to be talking about mostly this, but I'm also going to be doing a little bit of an update at the end of this, because it's taken me about 3 years to go through the game, through this game in its entirety, because of multiple reasons. And so, I kind of want to address that, and what the future of the franchise is, at least coming from me. Here on the channel. So, yeah. Starting off with this one, we can zoom in if we press the button and just look around. Of course, I can't read Japanese properly, but this is a concept from Makoto and about the logo that goes into his hoodie and what he would look like with the hoodie on. At some point, the game was supposed to be in a third person behind the back, and so they didn't really want people to get bored of looking at Makoto, so they decided, to give him something a little bit distinctive, so that's why the hoodie has the design there in the back. Then we got Taka. Looks a little bit slimmer when you look at him like this. I think the fact that Taka is usually shown screaming and crying his guts out is why a lot of people don't like his design too much, but if you look at it like this, and if you've seen the anime, at any point in time, he looks quite a bit better like this. I think he looks quite a bit better. Now, concept for Byakuya, for the Togami Corporation, the logo for the Togami Corporation over here. Different concepts, the double cross thing, tie, bobber thingamajig. And he also looks a little bit more handsome in this type of thing, because again, the expressions that they show in-game are from certain perspectives or just very specific expressions. So if you've seen him in the anime, he looks a little bit more handsome like that. And you can also see the design of the glasses, how they're actually designed, because you don't get to see much of that sometimes. It's just glimpses of the characters that you get to see sometimes. So even more so with Mondo. As you can see, this was supposed to be the design in his big coat, and it's a dragon, right? It's supposed to be a dragon, then some Oni designs on the back. It ended up being the dragon on the side, and you have the Oni down over here, all the flames for the diamond thing. Mondo is a very stylized character. Then we've got Leon, one of the first characters to be created. And it's actually kind of a funny idea, kind of funny story. The characters that they created first were Leon and Sayaka, which by the point that they were actually developing the first case, they were so sick of drawing them for all the concepts and all the things that they just decided to get rid of them immediately. They were sick of them. So that's why Leon and Sayaka are the first to die. Unfortunately enough. But yeah, look at the design. You actually never get to see the full design like that in the game. So that's like a nice, neat little thing. You actually get to see that. And so, again, some of the drawings are a little bit more stylized over here. Next up, Hifumi Yamada. Some weird proportions that they gave him, like super short, stubby legs, very long arms, but then his body is completely out of proportion over here, which is most of anything to accentuate some of his character traits. More than anything, the expressions, like it seems like it's a different art style altogether, but I guess it just conveys like the difference in some of the characters. For Yasuhiro, oh my god, I hate this character so much. Like there's very little redeeming qualities, and I understand if people like him. It's just it's not a character for me, not for me at all. He hates the occult, but he is a clairvoyant, and he believes in a lot of things that are very inclined to the occult, and he just justifies them. Then we got Sayaka Maisono, and because we see very little of her in the game, we don't see her in various like expressions. We never get to see her actually moving or different expressions on her attire for being an idol. It's just Sayaka is designed to be super super cute. You know, she's the ultimate pop idol. So that was a very good design. I think she looks very very cute. Kyoko Kirigiri, however, you know, they have these designs that are supposed to be emblematic of their families, of their companies, of something or other. And for Kyoko, it's this little thing over there, like it's that little thing over there, in the top of her tie, that goes for the Kirigiri family. They are supposed to be hidden detectives. Not a lot of people are supposed to know about them. And, well, she exposed herself to be able to be recruited by Hope Speak in order to find her father. So, I mean, her design in general, it's a little bit plain, which works because she's supposed to be stealthy and whatnot. And, yeah, the gloves and everything else add some mystery to her. She's very stylish with the long boots and the short skirt. It's just very stylish. I like her style a lot. Then we got Aoi. Her design's a little bit exaggerated, if you ask me. I think it's a little bit exaggerated. They did give the detail of here, like it's supposed to be a fox, right? But it does look like Monokuma's eye whenever you see it on the actual shirt. It is a little bit exaggerated, but it is very sporty, and you can see that with it. Instead of having the bandage on the face, like a lot of typical designs for Japanese sporty people have the band-aid on the face, usually on the nose. More than anything with soccer or fighting, and now on she has it on the knee. You got your knee protectors, and you got, you know, high socks, everything, because she is the ultimate swimmer, but she likes to run and she likes to play basketball, and she likes, like, she's just sporty in general. She just likes to be moving all the time. And a cute little thing, like, people with this type of hair usually, or in general, Japanese animation usually uses hair a lot to give out the impression of, to give out expressions. It accompanies a lot of the expressions on the face, which, I mean, it has been done a lot too in Western animation, but I think Japanese does it a little bit more exaggerated, a little bit better, I think. And now we have Toko Fukawa. You know, the concept for Toko is for her to be looking extremely plain, easy to ignore, and not attractive, which is basically, I think, the idea to giving her the super long skirt, and just make her a little bit more prudish in general, like prudish looking. But her mind is always in the gutter. And of course we have Genocide Jack, that's supposed to be, you know, and like an alter ego, like an antithesis to Toko. If Toko is extremely quiet, then then Genocide Jack is extremely obnoxious. Toko cannot handle blood at all, and for Genocide Jack, the scissors are the weapon that they use to kill. There's a serial murderer. You know, it's kind of like a regular and antithesis thing. Then we got Sakura. Sakura, I think, went through different iterations, and they ended up with a very stylized, very cool look for her. They gave her the big scar in the middle of the face, and she looks extremely powerful. Look at her legs. She looks extremely powerful with that big, long Goku Super Saiyan 3-esque hair. And I think it's just really cool. Sakura is one of the coolest characters, in my opinion. Then we got Celeste, and Gothic Lolita style. You got a lot of these, I don't know how to say it in English, to be 100% honest, but these little designs that go around her dress, and just the design of it all. That thing that she wears on her, I don't know a lot of the words in English, I'm super sorry. But no, it looks extremely stylized, and I like Celeste's design a lot. And finally, Chihiro Fujisaki, they put them at the end here. I'm still very confused. I don't know how to refer to him. I know he is a him, and he knows he is a he, but he didn't really mind people referring to him as a girl. So, I mean, you never really get to know much. They really wanted to come out at the end and say, you know, I'm a guy. And it takes Makoto a while to actually accept it. But yeah, it's super stylized, super cute, like very fragile looking too. And I mean, it just goes to show a lot of thought went into these, even more so with the undergarments that you get to see after school mode. Then you got the imposter Junko Enoshima, and this is important, I think, in the design department more than anything else, because they're twins, right? Junko and Mukuro are twins, and so you get to see a lot of this. But they do exemplify this small part over here, because Junko's proportions are a lot like she's a little bit more developed, and they do look like a models. And for Junko, like, she's a lot slimmer. She exercised a lot more, so she's a bit more muscular than anything else, and she is very different to her sister. But she, as they are twins, they still can pull off something like this, you know, the wig and just using some accessories, just stuff like that, just changing the way that she dresses and stuff like it. I mean, it's not super tasteful, I think, but it is important to their design. Then if you look at the genuine Junko Enoshima, you see the tie with a negative in parts in which it crosses, making a full cross with the red, the red line with the black part of the tie, make a full cross. You got the entirety of the white bear and the black bear, which when you fuse them together, you get Monokuma. That is what the basis for her creating Monokuma is supposed to be, because she's seen using these plenty of times. If you watch the animes, if you watch Danganronpa 3, you'll know what I'm talking about, and of course played some of the sequels. Now these two pins actually play an important part later on in the series, and I don't really want to get into that right now. There is a game in between 1 and 2 called it's not Super Danganronpa, it's Danganronpa Another Story, Ultra Despair Girls. And but you're supposed to play that after you play Super Danganronpa 2. So, I mean, I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, but for now, it's just gonna be this. And then the finalized design for Monokuma, you know, it's pretty simple. It's just a little bit of a teddy bear a fusion of the two bears that Junko has on her hairpins. You got Robo Justice, another one of the characters, and they kind of explain how it's supposed to be attached to your body. Like you're supposed to get the lower part in through your legs, then put the legs on, and then you put the arms on, then the helmet, you got the shoulders and stuff. But of course it's designed so that the person cannot take it off by themselves, so as well they cannot put it on completely by themselves, you know. That is the thing. Robo Justice just concept art for that. And then we got the art. You got the art for the characters. This is promo art that you get to see mostly in promotional materials. Obviously, that's promo. But yeah, not all of this art is completely visible during the game. A lot of it you actually only get to see outside of the game. Promotional materials, posters, you know, spots in magazines and whatnot. A lot of it exclusively Japanese. But it's very nice that they actually include all of this, and you see Hifumi with multiple arms moving around, doing a lot of the things. Like, it showcases a lot of their... Look at that. Is that Yakuza or is that Shenmue? I actually cannot tell, but he's playing in his PS3 over there. That's cool. That's very nice. But yeah, like, a lot of these characters, you actually get to see their personalities a little bit more. Like, as you can see over here, he is very, very money-driven. He is a clairvoyant. He makes readings with the tarot. You got the promo art for Sayaka Maisono with her idol outfit and stuff like that. It's not super different, but it is interesting to see them in a different light. A lot of the art that you see is also included, or is also used as the general art for promoting the game, with all of the characters in there. Then you see Aoi, like, all of this just showcases their personality. You see this is a parody of Krispy Kreme with all the different donuts, and now it's just linking them with her high school swimming uniform on. It's just stuff like that. You know, Toko over here with all the books, the different chapters or the different stages of her novels. You got Genocide Jack over here with all of the with all of the scissors and whatnot. So it's just interesting to see a lot of these promo art that you never get to see any other way. A little bit of Sakura over here. You know, realistically, with all of this posting, of course she would be exposed a little bit. But it just goes to show her immense power. And of course the red eye that you can see also throughout the game at some point. Well, Celeste gambling, of course, you would go with the poker deck over there. Chihiro, ultimate programmer, and well, Chihiro's just, you know, looking at everything. This is also a little bit of an Easter egg because, you know, Chihiro is developing AI. So it also goes to show because she's looking at, you know, the workings of human mind and body and how you can translate that into a computer. Then you got the fake Junko Enoshima. Of course, the details that you can see different are, of course, the tie, the hairpin, ribbon, freckles in the face, and the proportions. And then you got the genuine Junko Enoshima standing behind Monokuma, which is basically the pose in which she appears by the end of the game. I mean, it's just a little bit different, I guess. That's how I would call it. Then you got promo art for just Monokuma, which is the exact same. But then we got Kenshiro. Okay, Kenshiro. With all the different things. Like, there was some art for him to appear at some point in the game, I suppose, in some sort of flashback from Sakura and Shikiba Santa special art, which I really don't know much about this guy. He's got a very different art style on his face, that's for sure. Like, his body and his face don't really go together. Looks a little bit like he was supposed to be part of the Crazy Diamonds. Then you got Kyondo, which is basically Taka absorbing Mondo's spirit into himself. It's a little bit cool to have the concept art for this. I really don't enjoy Kyondo at all. Like, the way they portray him is a little bit too whiny. You got Mukuro Ikusaba. After you learn who she is, then this is what she would actually look like, and this is the design that they went for with Mukuro after everything else. And now we got full body art. So it's just them standing. Art that you would have seen. Most of these poses in the game, or just colored parts of art that we've already seen, like Leon, for example, or Hifumi. It's just colored art of their full body for the finalized designs. This is a little bit less interesting, but it's still really cool to see the details on the shades and everything else. Like, the details from the artists is really cool. Just seeing it like this, it's cool. It's just not super different to what we've already seen. Pretty much just the concept art, but colored. Just like that. And then we got Chihiro Fujisaki over here, and Monokuma, which is a little bit different pose, but Monokuma is a very simplistic character. Then you got the promo art, which, as I said, this is what the piece of art that I used for most of the series when I used for the end slate, and I was just darkening up the colors. It's a little bit weird how you see Leon here pushing Sayaka back and everything else. But yeah, this is the art. You got Monokuma over there. This is all 15 students getting into the school, and Monokuma symbolizing that there's a 16th student, and he is the headmaster, the mastermind. Then you got the pixel art for all of the people. You know how they are appearing on the screen whenever they are about to be punished and whatnot. So it is Leon. The ones that actually do get punished are Leon, Mondo. Then you got, well, not Hifumi, but you got Celeste. Not Sakura, technically. But a surprise guest, I would suppose. That's what you would call alter ego. Then you got Makoto and Kyoko, and at the very end, it's just Junko. And Monokuma appears in all of them, of course. But this is the pixel art for all of them. They all have pixel art. Then you got art for the people in the actual executions, like Impatient Leon. God. The look of terror in his face. Then you got the Monokuma picture book, which is very disgusting. The fire truck by the end of the burning of the Witch of Versailles. Alter ego in tears because it's gonna be killed. Then you got the alter lump. And here comes Junko. Well, yeah, she's ready. She just wants to go. Execution image. Well, this is basically, it's just the different versions, right? It's Makoto and Kyoko. You can actually get both. Preview image number 1. You got both Sayaka and Leon over here being judged. As I said before, Leon and Sayaka were the first characters to be finalized, so that's why they used them in art like this. As you can see, this is definitely not the end or the finalized designs. Leon's shirt is different, and Sayaka looks different as well. But yeah, this was supposed to be like Sayaka attacking Leon with a knife. Preview image number 3, Monokuma going to punish someone. Like this is the type of art they ended up using for the first tutorial later on. That is a little bit interesting. It's the same type of art, and then you got potechi, just chips. Mondo butter, the art used for the Mondo butter. This is also very disgusting. Why would you do that? Pochi Princess Pickles for the anime, and you even got a logo over there. It's supposed to be a magical girl anime, if I'm not mistaken. And this is an alternate design for Sakura. Like you can see, she looks a little bit less powerful, but it is also a very interesting design, like giving her a different style of hair, and a headband to push it all back, because of course a lot of hair would get a little bit in the way. She looks leaner, and yeah, that's about it. But still a very, very strong, different version of Sakura. You got depressed Monokuma, which, why would you make him depressed? And yo, Monokuma raps, not yo! This is just interesting to see, man. This is just interesting to see. The rough draft of the Phantom version of Monokuma, which is basically the left part is the regular human and the right part is, you know, phantom skin. You get to see the insides, but it's still all in place. Very creepy looking, very disturbing, but that was the original concept for Monokuma. KO! For some odd reason, like Hifumi's clothes just rip apart. Then you got the ad for a magazine, the first ad for the magazine that they had. You got Kyoko and Sayaka, which are, in my opinion, the best girls in this game. Then you got the second ad, everyone dressed up as Monokuma. You got Mondo over there in the back, Sayaka. Like this is a little bit of foreshadowing to be sure, but hey, look at this. It's interesting concept art to be sure. And the third magazine ad, which is just, it seems like a 4-page like spread, because this connects directly to the other part, but it does seem like it is kind of like foreshadowing for the entirety of the game. Like you can see Sakura crying, foreshadowing that she's gonna get depressed because of everything that's happened and she can't take it any longer, kind of suicide. And then you got Taka over there suffering and struggling to come to terms with the fact that Mondo actually killed someone and that he's gone and whatnot. It's just interesting to see. Card illustration. It's just the uniforms. Why is Sayaka wearing it like that? I'm not sure, but this is school uniforms. Cover art, blue. Yeah, Danganronpa. This is a thing. Not really sure for what, but that is a thing. And then you got the cover art red. Cover for what? Not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure it says in the background, but yeah. Now, if you look over here, this is interesting, because it apparently is a different version of Sakura as well, or maybe someone completely different. But the hair does remind me of Sakura. It just looks very different. And then you got meeting picture. Again, yeah, everyone pushing Toko out. But then you got all the characters over here. Pretty nice. Meeting picture number 2. Yep, concept art for a meet. You got Mukuro over here. It's both Mukuro and Junko, like the real versions of both. You got Celeste with a different attire, and like she can't have the same style for every single thing. And as you can see over here, it even looks different because of how, like, I kind of sort of understand if Hifumi's sportswear looks like that, because of course like his proportions are very weird. But you can see that Chihiro wore a female uniform for sports as well, which is it is kind of interesting because it makes you think a little bit more of how things actually went during their regular school life. And that's it for the art. So thank you guys so very much for joining me. I do wanna address some of the future for this for the series here on the channel. I do want to take a little bit of time off because, well, you know, it is different from a lot of the series that I've done before in the channel. It is a visual novel, and that means that I am speaking most of the time. The fact that I did this in the style that I did draw a little bit of inspiration from Super Genius and his take on different types of games like this, for the Persona series and the first few episodes of his Danganronpa series. He inserted himself into the world and started talking to the characters instead of reading all the text aloud, like other people do, like Lugajin, for example. And I enjoyed myself a lot doing it like this. It's very different from what I usually do. I usually just stay a commentator for the most part and just read the dialogue, make some voices and whatnot. But I really enjoyed doing it like this because it gave me a little bit more of a connection with the characters. As I said before, Danganronpa is a very special series to me because it came to me in a moment in which I really did have absolutely nothing else going on in my life, and this gave me a sense of purpose, and this gave me a little bit of it helped me go through about like 30 to 35 days in which I had absolutely nothing else going on in my life, and I would have gone absolutely crazy had I not found this series. So it is a little bit special to me. I hold it dear to my heart, and the fact that I was able to, insert myself, do a lot of stuff with the game. It took me a long time because of various reasons. The first is that I started doing this while I was out in an exchange program. It was for 6 months. It wasn't really all that long, but during that time, I got really bad depression. I started questioning a lot of the relationships that I had in my life at that point in time. And I just really was not in the mood for recording at all. I was recording also from my laptop, which is not really good for that. And it would sometimes crash, I would lose recordings, and it was just very discouraging. I was playing the Steam version for the entirety of the prologue and the first chapter of the game. That is also here on the channel. I left those as is. I was playing through the Steam version of the game, and that was cool and everything, but when I came back from the exchange program, I said, you know what, I really want to make the game justice. I want to do it the way that it's supposed to be done, and I want it to be high quality. I don't want it to be half-assed. I don't want the video to be all laggy and to skip around and whatnot, so I'm gonna do it on a console. And so I wanted to buy it from PS4. As soon as I got back, my parents were so happy and to have me back and whatnot that they actually told me that if I wanted anything, like to make my wait around a little bit easier and to just pass some time around, because I came back and I didn't come back home immediately. Like, we stayed somewhere else where we didn't really have any like TV, or I didn't get to bring any of my games with me. So they bought a Nintendo Switch for me while I was away, and they surprised me with that the second or third day that I was back. And so a lot of time was invested in me just passing it around with my Nintendo Switch. Then I came back to school, and it was extremely hard for me because it was a different system. Like, European and Mexican styles of education are completely different. It took me a while to get used to it again, and like, relationships were still struggling around me, and it was just a very hard moment for me in general. So I waited around, I bought the game on PS4, and I started playing through the game on PS4. I started uploading again that same December, if I'm remembering correctly, and I had just uploaded one chapter and then waited around a little bit more because it was starting to get to a point in which I was feeling very good with myself, but things in my life were starting to get a little bit more serious, and I had to start thinking about my life in a different light, because my time as a student was coming up, and I was looking for a job, and I didn't really have much time. So then I got a job, and I only had weekends to, do a lot of homework and do a lot of the work that I didn't do throughout the rest of the week. And so it got really, really hard for me to keep myself invested in recording for the long periods of time that I needed to in order to complete this game in the way that I wanted to, and to portray my character and to give the insights that I wanted to give. And it was just very hard for me to stay invested all the time into doing this when I had so much else going outside of just making videos. And so when that period of my life ended and I stopped being like a college student, I was really confused. wasn't completely sure what I was going to do. I managed to land a scholarship for a master's degree, but then I would have to focus a lot on the master's degree. And so it once again, it went into the back burner, like making videos went into the back burner, into the backside of everything else. And I just focused on doing that. But then I started feeling dissatisfied with that, and I wanted to make videos again, so I came back and started making videos. And now it's all over the place, because I had Danganronpa, I had Splatoon 2 DLC, I have Kirby's Air Ride, I have Spider-Man. I want to address Honeypop at some point, because I'm not going to finish that series, not the way that it is. I kept losing footage, and the episodes that are up, I am not really happy with the way that they are. I don't think it's quality content, and I think it is not something that I really want to play in the way that I was playing it, or with the commentary that I was doing at the time. So I might actually delete those videos. I have Life is Strange. I uploaded the first 2 episodes. I had another 2. Then my hard drive went kaput, and I lost the actual footage of me, like my face. And I wanted to do a reaction let's play with that, similar to what I did with The Last of Us and what I'm doing with The Last of Us 2. And now I started The Last of Us 2 and I want to finish that before I move on to something else. I have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I still haven't finished after almost 2 years of the game coming out. And then, like, it's just a lot of stuff that keeps piling on and piling on and piling on, so I made it a thing for me to keep focusing on the things that I wanted to finish, and Danganronpa was the biggest thing that I really wanted to finish, because I love the game and I really wanted the experience to be finished, like completed, as soon as possible. I wanted to share that with you first, so that's what it was. And so I am saving myself with Ultra Despair Girls and Danganronpa V3. I don't know anything about those games. I haven't played them. I've avoided looking at the gameplay and looking at most of the cutscenes for those games. I played the first 5 minutes of Ultra Despair Girls, and then I thought to myself, you know, I really want to do this on a Let's Play. So I will play through the entirety of the series at some point. Just, it has been very exhausting to play a visual novel this constantly. And for me, it will take a little bit more time to get there, to Super Danganronpa 2. And after that, Ultra Despair Girls will not take that long because it's different. It's not that much of a visual novel. It's a third-person shooter. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to take my time, finish some of the other Let's Plays that I've had started and that are not finished, like Assassin's Creed 2 will be finished, Spider-Man will be finished, and yeah, I'm gonna do my best to finish everything as best as possible. Thank you so very much if you've taken the time to listen to me ramble on about all of this. This was a very important series to me, and now that it's completed, I feel a little bit of a weight lifting off from me, because I feel like I finally completed something that I really wanted to make. So thank you so very much. If you joined me all the way through this journey, if you liked it, if you enjoyed it, if you gave it likes, if you gave likes to the videos, if you commented through the videos, thank you so very much. And if you really enjoy this and you are, if you're willing to give my content a chance, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing around. It would help me out a great deal. Thank you so very much, guys, and I will see you in the next video I release. Not for more Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. This is done. But if you come over here, you can see at some point later, we're gonna be going to Super Danganronpa 2. See you guys later. Thank you guys. Bye.
Danganronpa.